And there you have it. 20 Cam Newton, 19 Sam Darnold, and at 18 Carson Wentz. You know, if we'd have just seen this a year and a half ago, we'd have been like, what the hell? We got the graphic all screwed up. They got you got the Panther in the wrong spot, and where's
Seriously.
the Eagle logo?
Right.
My gosh, it just shows you what the NFL has become as it relates to veteran quarterbacks. Everyone wants a franchise quarterback. Once they decide that the guy they have no longer fits that category, even if he ever did, they're moving on and they're going to look elsewhere. Carson Wentz moving on from Philadelphia to Indianapolis. A lot of optimism in Indy that they're going to make this work with Carson Wentz. And look, I can't remember where Wentz was last year or the year before. I suspect he was a lot higher than 18.
Yes.
His play suffered last year. We still don't know why, because he thrived late in the 2019 season with, as you would say, a bunch of crap around him, all due respect to the guys who were like fifth string, but he willed the team to the playoffs, and then last year it all fell apart. And Frank Reich, coach of the Colts, believes he can put it all back together and get back to the way it was in 2017 when Wentz was an MVP candidate. He was the favorite for MVP before he tore his ACL against the Rams in December.
Well, that's why, I can't drop him, much farther than 18. That's where it's got to go. I mean, there is, some recent history, okay, of, going, damn, I've seen the guy play at a level that's better than some of the people in front of him. Last year was not good, like you talked about. But, man, the end of 2019, he carried the team as well as we saw any quarterback in football to get in the playoffs. And like you mentioned, and thank you for that, the 2017 year, and I think both of our opinions, he could have, should have won the MVP. So we've seen enough information to know Carson Wentz has it in him to play quarterback at a top 10 level in the NFL. Yeah, last year was a disaster in a lot of ways. But just like we talked about with Sam Darnold, and like you kind of just mentioned it, I mean, there's issues with that football team. Yeah, he wasn't able to create some of the same magic. That year before, they were able to kind of get on that run late in the year. From the get-go last year, they were reeling. I mean, from the get-go. And I know they blew that lead against Washington and all that type of stuff. But, like Sam Darnold, injuries on the offensive line, system that, nobody is writing home about to go, wow, it's the greatest, most creative system in football. And then even last year with the injuries at receiver, it was a bunch of, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but no names to a degree. Playing the wide receiver position. No run game. I mean, so there we go. Yeah, he let some of the circumstances and him trying to do too much affect his play and what he did on the field. And that led to him holding the ball too long in the pocket, trying to jam balls into the tightest windows you've ever seen. But when every throw is jam it into the tightest window you've ever seen, that's the way life was for Philadelphia. He didn't know any different. It was the year before they were jam tight too. I just got them in there. This year, they didn't have the mojo. So there was a lack of support, all of those type of things. He didn't play well, and it snowballed out of control. So it ended up ultimately benching him. But I still think this is a guy with a little support that has shown us that he's got real talent to be dangerous.
And the contrast between Carson Wentz and Aaron Rodgers last year as it relates to the drafting of a potential successor.
Right.
Rodgers became pissed and focused and became the league MVP.
Yeah.
Wentz crumbled, and Jay Glazer of Fox reported at one point during the season last year that they think that the selection of Jalen Hurts in round 2 messed him up.
Sure.
And maybe it did. Maybe he just needs to feel like he's the guy, and that's not an indictment against the player. Everyone is motivated differently, and he didn't expect it. It happened, and it took him some time to get over it, or maybe it caused him to just decide, I want out of here. And he was never able to overcome that last year. He just reacted in a different way than Rodgers did to a similar affront.
No doubt. I mean, I don't deny that. But, again, Aaron Rodgers is at a different point in his career and a staple, and we know a first ballot Hall of Famer and, what I would say the greatest quarterback to ever live. So he's pretty comfortable with his, stance as far as in the league and those things. Carson Wentz, I mean, this is why, to me, it was it was a dumb draft pick with Jalen Hurts. He was just getting his confidence back from, hey, everybody hates you and we like Nick Foles. He was just getting back to like, wait, I think the city likes me and the team likes me. What? We drafted Jalen Hurts, and now if I don't play awesome right away, all those people that I finally got back on my side that are just barely over the fence on my side, if I struggle at all, they're all going to go, oh, Nick Foles, Jalen Hurts, get him the hell out of here. I mean, that was Philadelphia. They messed that up. And, you know, what I tell people, too, is sometimes I go, well, look at the games last year, what he did and all that. Listen, I understand he didn't play well, right? Our expectations of the Eagles were too high, too, though. You know, when you sit back and look at their year from the 2020 season, look at their schedule. I mean, tell me who they lost to that they were supposed to beat with that team. Who were they supposed to beat? The Packers, the Seahawks? You know, I mean, they were as good as the Giants. The Giants were actually better. Yeah, they went 1-1. You know, were they supposed to beat Pittsburgh and Baltimore and the Rams and all those teams? I mean, no, they stunk. And I think that's Wentz's greatness from the year before started unreal expectations for last year's team. And I think that's also what added to the pressure on him. And everybody expected that same magic. And I think this is again, this is a guy that I think's got top 10 talent. And with the right team around him, he can show it. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happened this year.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.